When Canada's COVID-19 app launched nearly a month ago, experts said around 60% of the population should be using it to help stop the spread of the virus. So far, about 2 million people have downloaded the app, the bulk of them in Ontario. Joining me now is epidemiologist Raywat Deonandan. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about effectiveness. Is this app working so far?
Well, we don't know. So as far as I know, it hasn't been used to alert a lot of people yet about being exposed, but give it some time. It's still early days. The idea is for it to replace people's imperfect memories. And if we can do that, then we can save contact tracers a lot of work and maybe prevent small cases from becoming genuine outbreaks.
This technology is being used elsewhere in the world. So what are you seeing? What are the successes and what are things to work on?
A couple of the places that have had good success include Iceland and Singapore, and I think their uptake is about 40% or so. China used theirs to great effect, and they use it to control the movement of people from getting out of certain zones. Russia is going to use something called geofencing, where the app instructs people not to get out of a certain area or even their house. We're not using that approach. We're just using it as an information sharing technology to encourage people to get tested or to seek testing if they've been exposed. So again, it's early days. So far, the apps don't seem to be game changers, but they are useful. They're one tool in a larger toolbox containing a multiple set of tools that we have to deploy.
Now, we know that people right across the country can download the app, but right now it tracks people in Ontario. When can we see other provincial and territorial health authorities jump on board on this?
These are provincial decisions. Right now, I think Alberta is considering moving from their provincially developed app to the national app, which I think is a good idea. But remember, it doesn't track people. That's an important distinction here. It just keeps track of the phones it's been in contact with so that if someone gets tested positive, other phones can be alerted to that fact. So we shouldn't call it a tracking app. It's definitely not that. However, I anticipate that other provinces will get on board within the next month.
Yeah, and rightfully so. You mentioned that we're not tracking people because there have been so many conversations over privacy concerns over using the app. So talk to us a little bit about the difference between GPS or Bluetooth and what this app uses and what the difference is.
So a GPS approach is a centralized approach that manages or keeps track of where everybody is at any given time and is sent to a central server. That's a little scary for a lot of people. That's a little big brotherly. The Bluetooth approach, on the other hand, which is what we use, is just a handshake method. So throughout the day, your phone keeps track of the other phones it's passed by and just remembers them. So if any one of these phones is owned by someone who eventually gets tested positive for COVID, the other phones are sent an alert that you've been exposed, go get tested. But no one centrally is told who those people are. It's stored on the phone itself until the user releases that information. So again, a couple of countries have chosen the centralized GPS approach, like Russia, I think, but not most Western nations. Privacy is a huge concern here. And I understand people's desire not to be tracked or traced and things like that. But if you're concerned about privacy and you already own a smartphone, I've got bad news for you. You know, a lot of your privacy has already been compromised. This app does not add to that in any meaningful way.
That's a very good point, Raywat. Thanks for the update this morning. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.